Nice view of the lake this morning. Reservoir. Oops. Got some funky tiles. The arrows. Birds are up. The climb out of Portomarin. We had 3 options. Going across the bridge. One guide said the main route was left. One guy said the main route was right. And another guide said the main route was left and immediately right. But they all go the same way. We've gone for the right hand one. It's surprising how the Camino seems to normally have the best sort of routes on there with alternatives, but this is showing us taking the alternative. Community Ninja said this is the main route, and then the book that we got was the one that wanted to go left and right again. Actually, we had a similar thing coming into the village yesterday. The main route was a very steep descent. You could do a road bit which was a gentler descent. That was a gentler descent, which was the alternative bit. And then there was one that wasn't marked on the map, which is really good fun. That steep gully one, which is what we ended up doing, which is cool. These are quite difficult to read. Oh, that one didn't give us a ridiculous number. Oh, when we were in Castellan and Leon, you could read the kilometre markers really clearly, and they were few and far between. You know, you could easily find yourself walking 5k before you see one. In Galicia, they use them as a way marking posts, so sometimes every 100 metres, and probably not much more than 300 or 400 metres apart, because they're kind of the arrows on the right, and each one usually has a kilometre marker, or well, metres. So Castellan and Leon, in fact all the bit other than Galicia is how many kilometres, also it's how many metres, which is a bit weird because you go from like 120 kilometres or whatever it is to 120,000 metres. It's like, whoa, what's going on there? We're taking a long route. Happily walking up through the woods, listening to the wildlife waking up. I wouldn't particularly recommend starting much before dawn. It's like, well, you want to see where you're going. We've had a few mornings where we've 10 minutes, I suppose, maybe 15 minutes before dawn breaks, which is lovely because you watch dawn break at which I highly recommended. But of course, that 10 or 15 minutes, you're walking quite often on a track like this. The camera is actually suggesting there's more light than there is just at the moment. But and that with a yellow brick road that you follow, so you don't need a head torch. And yes, okay, when you're getting up the dorms, they're dark, but what we do is we pack our bag, just chuck stuff in there in no particular order, so when we get up in the morning we can just grab our rucksack and our sleeping bag, take it out of the dorm so we don't wake anybody up, and then there's usually a communal area where you can go cut a silage cut here. You can pack your bag properly and get dressed before hitting the trail, and then you can just use your camera to go back, just double check under the beds you've not left anything, so you don't need a head torch. But I can't really see the point of I've done lots of proper night nav. They get a nice clear moonlit night, especially across the Meseta. I get that. walking across for the stars. That would be nice. But still not head torch territory. Up here this morning. Up all these roses. Very gentle climb, these beautiful roses. I think I've got no scent. There was a cracking one yesterday. There are a few cars this morning. Well, there's a second and third. They've been further away from the road, but oh, there we go, another one. Oh. Got a big dairy unit. Unusually, the house is part of the dairy unit, actually built as part of the buildings. Got another industrial unit coming up here. Very different to the little weaving path we had yesterday. The little old farms that we went through. Slightly big agriculture. This nice little section next to a very big commercial chicken unit. It's funny, another one of these old grain drying. Oh, hello. It's a really big chicken unit. We've not seen such a big commercial agricultural enterprise. Apart from, I guess, on the Meseta, the big fields of corn. Got some decent sized fields. They are 20, 30 acres maybe. Been through, it's just the third new commercial farm we've been through walking this morning. Not been going very long, 45 minutes maybe. So different to the other side of the Portomarin where we stayed last night. Okay, service station. It's nuts how many people are here. Little dairy unit. A bit bigger than we've seen to date. It's the first coffee stop this morning. There's lots of them. We actually have had a really nice morning coming out Portomarin. Not only been a few pilgrims, and all of a sudden, wow, they've just come in there. About 40 people in there. But then I think there's slightly over 2,000 pilgrims finishing the Camino every day at the moment. Kerry's got some app that tells you how many people get in each day. Oh, sweet smell of silage. Got a nice section here, walking through the woods. The neon sign says that it's open. Really feels like going along a motorway. A bit like a charity walk, really. You decide whether charity is your soul, whether you're going to go to heaven or not. Because I don't believe in heaven and hell, so it's a bit relevant for me. It just is what it is now. And if we're lucky, we'll feed an oak tree later. Just saying how elaborate and a real celebration of the grain harvest these stores are, and then we go up here and it's like, oh, maybe not all of them. So we have my Asterix and Obelix. We've seen bits of one, but that's the first time we've seen one all together. It's an interesting place. I thought it was a house that just hadn't been finished, but it's sort of a bit like visitor centre celebrating a medieval settlement. It's cool. Wow, it's a serious gatehouse. It's impressive. Oh, got a scallop shell. Ah, yeah, I think this is what it is. I think we've got to go up there if we want to go and see it. Gary's brushed on somewhere. It's a very unusual space, which is cool. Got graffiti all over the place, been tagged. Bit of a shame we've lost on the Camino. We did, we've had wonderful murals. I'm sure we're going to see some more, and lots of really cool quotes that pilgrims have put along the route. I've seen a couple this morning. Gosh, I forgot to video one. It said something along the lines of "Find your passion." So don't get involved with following where the money is or where people tell you to go. What's your passion in life? Like that. Wasn't expecting to see stone foundations. Goodness me. Those little tiny rooms. Reminds me of the one up in Scotland. Oh, cool. Roots through the village. So it's something similar that we get home, in as much that we've got, like, this is the ramparts, if you like, and there's a big ditch, and it's like there's a big ditch now. I mean, like, what would have that been like? I guess we're pre-Roman, I would imagine. A couple of thousand years old. I presume it's didn't read the sign carefully enough, but I'm guessing it's pre-Roman. And we saw down that visitor centre at oh wow, looks like it's got a window. But this was a really impressive gateway into the settlement. Oh wow, we've got steps. And we've got some way up on so where's that? Yeah, Woodbury's got a hill fort, isn't it? And there's one at Steps Bridge. There's French students who just went past. Cracking view. Just below Castle Drogo. There's another one actually down the valley a little bit, which I've yet to explore. You've got to walk across the river to get to it. Below Steps Bridge. And then there's another one at the top of the hill. Just above the pub there, which is on some private land. Yeah, so masses of about, but normally it's just this earth mound with a big ditch. And so we're seeing some foundations for some dwellings. So, okay. Just nuts, isn't it? All these ones were, I think, well, this ditch is thousands of years old. What must it have been like in its heyday? I guess a wooden fence on the top up here. It's lovely and cool today. Another one there. Loving these oak trees that have grown in here. I was wondering what this is, but it's tree heather again that we saw when we were coming down off of Okahara, at Amazing, when we just went into Galicia, and we suddenly saw all the round thatched houses. Right, time to catch Kerry up. This Just found a cafe out of the way. Next moving electric fence. Bit of strip grazing. What we got there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, maybe 30. 30 odd head of cattle. This old boy has been moving this electric fence all the time I've been here. I've never seen somebody work so slowly. I've decided that he's escaping his wife and he's looking after his 30 cows, which look absolutely amazing. Taste showing. He's looking at me. So what are you doing filming me? The trainers are starting to split. But, I'm thinking, well, I don't walk that far. What do we reckon we walked? Since I got my burgers. And we're just trying to figure out how many miles. I don't know. About 300 miles, we reckon. And according to Google, they do between 300 and 500 miles. So, yeah. The treads. I wouldn't think we've actually done anything on a tread. There we go. I really want to get some Hocker speed goats. But, just because I like the idea of having speed goats. I mean, how cool's that? I'll argue with the boy. As the farmer we just filmed is coming for a cup of coffee. So, one of the things I like, you know, locals really use their cafes and bars, come in and have a tapas and a drink. Really get the impression they come in every day. But, it's cheap, eh? I mean, you know, if you're getting a little country places, it's €1 for a coffee, and then I usually give her a free tapas with that as well. Cracking. Chose the right cafe. We had the cafe to ourselves. There's another big group behind that sign there. Another group up here. I think they might be the French ones that we saw a minute ago, which are really nice. Yeah, the Spanish students yesterday were spread around the town, down little alleyways with bottles of spirit and bottles of Coke, that doing as teenagers do when they go on a school trip. But the university students have got that out of their system to a degree. Used to inspirational quotes, and we've moved on to lots of tags from kids. I'm just thinking, what's nice about the Meseta is that it's the least walked bit of the Camino. And so we were just talking about a bar that we went to in a tiny little town. It was the same one that had the smallest supermarket you can imagine, probably about the size of your bathroom at home, and you could buy individual tea bags for 20 cents each. And the bar just spread across the road both sides, so we could get traffic down, but only just. And it was one high street down through the middle, so anyone who wanted to drive, they had to drive through the bar. And a glass of wine was €1, and it was filled to the top, a bit like when I was a student. I used to go to Tavistock, and there was a wine bar called Betsy Grimble's, and when they gave you a glass of wine, they filled it to the top, so much so there was a slight meniscus, so the wine actually kind of bulged up above the top of the wine, so you had to slurp the wine out of your glass before you could pick it up, otherwise you'd spill it. But yeah, so you get, you know, when there's less people, you get a bit more of a special experience. And I would imagine that's probably what we're going to find when we do the Portuguese Camino. First bit of litter I've seen in the hedge anywhere on the Camino. Apart from there was one little section before we had that fantastic sort of hippie bar with a round circular table and all the food, not the one we did a couple of days ago, but a week or so back. So I don't know, it's interesting. We have done some motorway sections. I wonder, I'll have to keep my eyes open. I wonder whether, because you know in England, if you end up walking along the side of the road, you're just fine. It's really funny if you get a takeaway food. It's not funny actually, it's sad. We get a takeaway joint, whichever one of the companies they are, which I'm not going to mention, and you'll find masses of their food wrappings in the hedge. But you also, it's just littered, and you see when they go and cut the grass, it just all that debris come up. I've not noticed anybody cleaning up after pilgrims. I think it's just actually, we don't drop stuff. I just wonder whether, what that's like in the wider Spain off the Camino. I don't know. Can't say I've noticed. On a chimney fitted, I found a guy that specialises. Found a guy that specialises in it. Oh, bread. Okay, bakers. I think you get those in. Oh, hello. Some staff behind the window going, look at that nutter. Kerry's just seen some of our friends from Philadelphia. Want to say hello. Oh, she's saying she doesn't need any bread. Oh, look at the Alsatian. Lots of Alsatians. He's a beauty. Got some Charolais cattle. Just had a magic little experience in this little hermitage. There's a blind guy in there that will stamp your book, and he gives some donations. He's given us some cards, which written in Spanish, but luckily I've got my little photo translator for dumb people like me. It's really cool. That was nice. That was the Philadelphia lecturer said, oh, have a look in there. Usually there's a guy in the hermitage, and he was. There's another tree I reckon in. Look at the bark on this. It's a blue gum eucalyptus. That is a new tree on me. Get like a almost white bit, but it's the trunk, if anything else, that's so unusual about it. Blue gum eucalyptus. There we go. It's obviously got a tub of red paint. I think it's flying Garrick, the red magic mushrooms we get at home. I'll look it up now. They're amazingly cheerful. Fairy mushrooms, yeah, I guess, yeah. Why can't the fairies get high? Almost right. Flying agaric. There we go. And then you dry it, or smoke it, or just do a googly bit for the hallucinogenic effects. Well, I've tried it. Carrie's convinced it's a fairy mushroom. So, well, there we go. Wow. Just realised they were painted stones of the magic mushroom, and so if you take them, you're going to get stoned. Say no more. Start with the blue gum eucalyptus. Its leaves have, when you crush them, apparently got a really distinctive, eucalyptus aroma, and tends to be the tree that's used. Nice picture, isn't it? On the bins. Wow. Yeah, they use the leaves to go and extract the essential oils. So if you've got eucalyptus oil, quite often comes from blue gum, and largely from China apparently. And then the wood itself is used for paper pulp, but also is apparently quite decorative, and the smaller stems for pit props. There we go. Blue gum eucalyptus. In this, look, we got Jean, Carlo, Espy, and Dorothy. We've only been to one. service in the chapel at Cairo, just when we got into Galicia, which is where the priest who sort of re-established the modern use of the Camino, you know, started putting all yellow arrows everywhere. Him. Anyway, when we went to the service, had a normal service in Spanish. We're not Catholics, Christians, and what have we seen? Oh, yeah, the old Pilgrim Hospital there. And then after that finished, he got all the pilgrims to come up round the altar, and we read out the pilgrim's prayer in all different languages. Of course, he couldn't speak lots of different languages. So, they're beauties. Hola. The languages that he could speak English and Spanish, a bit of Italian. But anyway, he got, apart from the Spanish one, he got a pilgrim to volunteer and come up and read out the pilgrim's prayer in their native language, which we get in turn. It's really nice, quite moving. And then he gave us all a pebble with a yellow arrow drawn on it, which is in the back of my bag. It's kind of cool. Wasn't expecting a little bit of technical trail. Nice countryside. Excellent. Yeah. Just smiling. Kerry reminds me of a bit we did in Portugal where we drove for, I don't know, half an hour up a very rough track to go and see some standing stones similar to, well, not Stonehenge, but that's the stone circles you get. And when we got there, it was all fenced off to protect the sandstones, and you couldn't see anything. And then we went to see some more standing stones, but it turned out to be one, and we had to walk down a path just like that, which was nice. But it was like, a bit of an anticlimax. So it's changed again. We were, if you remember, it wasn't long ago, we were in quite big fields, quite big agricultural enterprises, gone small again. Aristocats. Clearly very warm on the top of the blue car. Might go and focus on there? Yes, it will. Having a good time. Hi guys. We just went past a nice little cafe that had a spit and an open fire. We're cooking some pork, but unfortunately we're a bit too early. It was all getting fired up. Well, it's going to be ready. Well, it takes a long time to cook a pig on a spit. I've done a few in my time, and it's usually sort of 8 hours-ish, something like that. So I was thinking, of course what they might do is cook it inside and then just bring it out and finish it off outside, crackling and stuff. Watched a really cool YouTube documentary a long time ago. I think he was a top London barrister, but lived out in the farm at the middle of nowhere in Essex, and they invited all their friends over once a year for a big hog roast, and they would go and put the pig in brine in an old steel bath in their bathroom, and so it was sitting there for a weekend, I think, or a couple of days, and then he would go and cook the pig on an open fire on a spit, and then he was saying that it brings out the animal in all his friends. I mean, they're all educated London business folk, but he said you had to go and sort of kind of corral them all, because when the meat was ready to be cooked and they started to carve it up, it became a bit manic, which I think is quite funny. But I know exactly what it means. But, my goodness, when you start carving up a hog roast, with some apple, that would go down well. We've had a bit of the food's been, it's good, but very samey, so we tend to there's a whole host of things to choose from, but we tend to have a broth, which is potatoes, beans and spinach for a starter. It's big and wholesome, with some quite rustic bread, sort of a bit like French bread, but not. And then main course, you can have chicken or pork or beef, really thin pieces that are cooked with chips, and then dessert, sort of like a creme caramel or a ice cream. That's about it, really. Very cheap, but I am in the need of something different. So little subtle change again. Field's getting a bit bigger. Lots of managed coniferous woodland on the hilltops. Wind farm. And a straight road living up to that rise. Straight road going down the other side. Gently rolling hills. Eucalyptus trees. I thought, oh, this is a good idea. Let's go and walk through the flowers. It's like, wow, the meadows are a bit deeper than I thought they were. Yeah, I mean, oh, no, you just have to take my word for it. It's waist deep. And we've got these, we've seen quite a lot of them, but unusual to me. Fence posts made out of stone, and then a single cable like that will keep the cattle in, because I think it's electric fence. They're keen for us to it's open, it's a bar, it's a restaurant, it's a hotel. There we go. Sorry, I just stopped on a beer and a Galician pie, sort of a bit of a cross between a pizza and a quiche, maybe. Looks like a cool place. Pretty nice view, eh? Field of cattle with some trees, get some shade, woodland. And a few cars on this road today. Not a silly number, but quite a few. And this gravel path all the way up on the side. Nowhere near as pretty a walk as yesterday, but still lots to see. A lot of little hamlets, but, lots of little cafes, constantly changing farming landscape. We're only, I think, about 3k from finish today. Interesting, we got some blue gum eucalyptus, which we saw earlier, with a distinctive white, and then some more native. Oh, I thought it was maybe, I don't think it is. I thought it was another type of eucalyptus behind it, but I don't think it is actually. I'm not sure. Zoom in. I was right. If you zoom in enough, you can see the classic flaky tree trunks. So yeah, two types of eucalyptus. Apparently, as we head into Galicia, or further into Galicia, the number of eucalyptus plantations, groves, woods, I don't know, increases, which I find quite a surprise, because I associate eucalyptus with drier climate. We've actually got a plantation of eucalyptus just off Sidmouth at home, and they've got some signs up there saying that they're doing some trials in preparation for, you know, as global warming kicks in and climate changes, native tree species are going to struggle a little bit. The eucalyptus will manage better. And I was doing a bit of research for that blue gum eucalyptus we saw earlier. That's actually got a very shallow rooting tree, which is like, oh, okay. How does that cope with the dry climate? But it does. Rush hour on the Camino. It's surprising how you stop at some of the cafes and it feels really busy, but you start walking again and you soon find yourself just with a couple of people in front, a couple of people behind. That's it. So I'd notice next time on a road, see how much there's nothing here for a minute. Actually, we've gone through quite a few high energy drinks cans, lots of cigarette packets, plastic drinks bottles, the normal detritus that you'd expect to see at the side of a road. Oh yeah, just like home, but weirdly a bit unvideoing now. You can't see any, or very little. I thought Kerry was talking about this water tank on 3 legs, but actually there's something a bit more entertaining around the corner from there, which I'll show you. Ooh, those packs. It's absolutely clear what that is. It's so much so is it absolutely clear what that is. I'm not going to tell you because that would be insulting to your intelligence. Nothing to do with the fact that I don't know what it is. It's one of them.
The modern made
I have no idea, babe. The Sarria Camino experience of the coach meeting you each day and dropping you off and picking you up. Oh, I'm quite liking this cow here. Cool. Quite nice. Quite liking this. Fernando. Oh, I guess what I'm listening to, haven't I? So we're just coming in. Just a night stop. Got these strange lights, which are a bit pointless because pilgrims come in sort of about lunchtime. Maybe if they're really late, doing long legs, you know, some people go, so we're doing around about the 20ish, I think it might be 25, 26 today, but some people do 30. So they can end up coming in at 5 o'clock. I guess maybe in the winter, because talking to one of the albergues open in February and close the 1st of November. So it's like, oh wow, that's a really short off season. Apparently October's really good fun because there's very few albergues open, usually only one per town, as you end up meeting the same pilgrims every night through the whole Camino. And then there's a real rush to make sure you make it by the 1st of November when everything closes down. There's a Camino routine. In, have a shower, do the washing, hang it up to dry, go and find something to eat, go and have a siesta, go and have a wander around town, have some dinner, watch a movie, do some bits and pieces, go to bed, get up past 5 and repeat.